Bill Maher roasts the left wing for going ahead and defending the insane far-left mayor of Los Angeles after she sits there and makes excuses about the LA wildfires, how crazy it all is, and even says, oh, you're not allowed to talk about what we did wrong or criticize me because there's a fire going on. How dare you? It's also stupid. It's also ridiculous, but thankfully there are some people with some common sense out there. Even Bill Maher wants no blue moon, as hard as that is to believe. So we're gonna get right into it, folks, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. But first, do me a big favor here. Like our video and share it around so we can keep bringing you guys this great, hard-hitting content. As always, Patriots, I'm your host, Darian, and this is Resist the Mainstream.
Karen Bass is taking a lot of heat. So is Gavin Newsom. But there's going to be a recall on Karen Bass. We will see what happens. But a lot of people think she failed in terms of leadership and, you know, where budget cuts may have affected the fire department. And there are other people who are saying, how dare you even talk about that in the middle of the fire? So where do you stand?
Well, we all took a lot of heat. I'm with the people who want to hold politicians accountable.
Paste.
You know, we shouldn't talk about it now. It's so funny to hear that coming out of the mouths of liberals, because they hate it when conservatives say that after a gun tragedy, which is what conservatives always say after a mass shooting. This is not the time to politicize it, and then it never is. It is absolutely the time to talk about it. And this is what my editorial is about Friday night on the show. Was it always going to be bad? Of course. Their arguments are not wrong. We built the city in a terrible place to build a city. Global warming absolutely does make hot stuff and weather worse. The winds were ridiculous. Yeah, I get all that. And they also made a lot of errors. And if you held Bush accountable for Katrina and thought Rudy Giuliani was an idiot for putting the command center in the World Trade Center, which is the place they attacked for and were most likely to attack again, which he was, well, then you have to have some intellectual honesty and criticize your team.
You know, Bill Maher is half right, because it's funny because these anti-Second Amendment, pro-gun control Democrats will always, after a gun tragedy, go and say, oh, the blood's on your hands. Your thoughts and prayers mean nothing, you stupid Christians, blah, blah, blah. It's really disgusting and evil what they do. So this idea that Bill's pushing, you know, he's half right, but saying that they say now's not the time to politicize it. No, what they're saying is stop politicizing a tragedy and using it to shame people and suggest somehow it's their fault that children are being killed or whatever, all right? And it's disgusting to do that, and it's a whole other long conversation that I won't get into, but Democrats literally refuse to arm schools with police officers to help protect them. And so I think that tells you all you need to know about where their hearts are at and whether they actually care about the lives of children. I'm just saying. And while they're doing all this, they have the gall with these LA wildfires to turn around and point the finger at conservatives and say, you can't criticize us for our stupidity. Oh, how dare you? There are people dying. Now is not the time. Really? Really? After what you do with gun control, you people have absolutely no shame. How despicable.
When they don't do it right. And they've had a long time to get this righter. It was always going to be bad. All of these were always going to be bad. And they always seem to be the worst they ever possibly could be. So, no, I think we should demand better.
Maher's right. We should demand better. And let's talk about some of the errors those Democrats did, because it's actually a lot worse than many people realize. I mean, just get a load of this, all right? There was a giant water reservoir in the Los Angeles area that was responsible for a large portion of what would be firefighting, and it was down supposedly for repairs during the fires. Are you serious? And before we say, well, you know, it's just a coincidence, oh, you know, it's not their fault. No. The National Weather Service put a warning 5 days before the fire, at least, it might have even been 6, saying, hey, there are some really bad fires coming our way and you need to be prepared for it. Why didn't they do the damn repairs for the water reservoir before then? Has anybody even thought about this? And where was LA Mayor Karen Bass during all this? Well, seems like she was chilling in Haiti. Oh, that's convenient, isn't it? You know, you'd think that the 5% of the population of the Haiti that came to the United States in the past couple of years would have been enough cultural nourishment for Karen Bass, but apparently not. So she flew over there and got just a little bit more, all while her citizens were suffering and many of them dying. Really pathetic.
You know I watch your show every Friday night when you're on. And I followed your journey trying to get the necessary permits to take down a shed in your backyard over a period of, I believe, more than a year. And
no, it's what I had to build. I was
Oh,
trying to
building
get
the
Yeah,
shed.
the solar. This is for
I
your
was-
solar.
The
Yeah.
solar, the solar.
trying to get the solar hooked up, which, by the way, is what the state wants you to do.
If it took you a year and going on television every week shaming the state to
Right.
build a shed for solar,
Just to get solar panels.
when you look at the red tape with the Coastal Commission, with building and safety, with all of the rigmarole you have to go through to build a house, and especially after hillsides may be compromised and whatnot, and you look at the scope of this, how optimistic are you that that could change enough so that LA can rebuild?
I always think there's a middle of the road, actual practical solution to everything. And for this, I would say, was California's uber progressive politics the cause of this fire? Of course not. Did it impede them to some degree? Absolutely. That's the margin of error I'm saying we can't abide by anymore.
But Maher, maybe they are actually responsible, right, for these fires and not stopping them earlier. What about the fact that they fired over 100 firefighters in the Los Angeles County Fire Department because they refused to take the COVID vaccine? I put that in quotes for a reason here. All right, what about the article we saw just a couple years back that said the Los Angeles Fire Department is too white and too male? That needs to be put to a stop. By definition, what that means is they're going to start getting rid of people or not hiring them in the first place, even though they're more qualified, simply because they are white and male. So aside from being racist and sexist, two things the left claims they oppose, even though clearly they don't when it's against people they don't like, it also literally puts lives at jeopardy. I mean, that's insane. What about that Gavin Newsom slashed the fire budget, all right? He slashed it severely, and Trump actually criticized him for it and said bad things will happen. And then look what happened. You can add that to the Trump was right about just about everything bucket. Funny how that works. And speaking of that DEI I just touched on, have you guys seen that video of this fat black lesbian fire chief? And I'm not saying that to insult her, it's just an accurate description, who was saying that, you know, we need more people who look like each other, you know, those usual stupid leftist platitudes to justify, you know, discriminatory DEI hiring. And then she said, some people will say, well, what if you can't carry me out? It's really bad. I mean, she basically says, it's your fault. She starts victim blaming. Another thing that the left claims to be upset about, but then they just do themselves. Check this out.
You want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you. It gives that person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is she strong enough to do this? Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
Did you guys know she's DEI certified? No, that's not a joke. Look it up.
Now, as far as the red tape, I see that they're all, Newsom, Bass, they're all saying, we're going to cut red tape, as if they're doing us a favor. My question is, well, if you can do it now, why don't you always do it? Obviously, it can be done. It's not a favor to us to cut the red tape. Why do we live in this state, in this red tape nightmare, the other times of the year when we're not on fire?
Why do we live in this state? It's a good question, Bill. You know what's a better question? Why are you still voting Democrat? I mean, this is ridiculous. Guys, Bill Maher literally said in some kind of interview, I can't remember with who, but he said that he would vote for Gavin Newsom for president and that he hopes he runs one day. And now he's here bashing on the guy, talking about how like stupid and incompetent they are. Dude, you're tripping, yo. Bill, just come over to the right side, all right? We're waiting. I don't think you ever will. You seem to be stuck in your Democrat ways, but you do have common sense sometimes, so, you know, maybe you'll do it. I don't know. Anyways, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. What'd you all think? If you enjoyed it, please be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Comment, let us know what you thought, and we'll see you all again soon. God bless.